Hi, friends. We miss seeing you in the building. Liz and I wanted to do some how-to videos on things that you can be doing at home for your college search if you are in the mood to do that. So we thought today we would start with SCOIR. SCOIR is the platform that we use to not only search and compare colleges, but also to organize all of your application materials by deadline and also by to-do lists. So without further ado, let's look at SCOIR. So I'm going to share my screen. You were invited to register for SCOIR. If you need us to resend that invitation, please let us know. You just sign in, and it takes you to this page. We're going to start today in the profile page. So up at the top, find the tab that says My Profile. Click on that, and that takes you to the page that has a lot of personal details, etc. At the top of the page, before we go further, I wanted to show you this. I'm going to put on my glasses. Right here, it says Invite a Parent. You can invite your parent to look at your SCOIR page, and it's a nice way for you to be able to sort of interact on various college searches and information you both come up with. A parent can add suggestions to a page, but cannot delete any of the colleges. So if you would like to invite your parent to work with you on SCOIR, feel free and do that right there. As we scroll down the page, we get to Academic Overview. This is where Liz and I will be adding things like your GPA and your test scores. This page is a dummy account for me, so you'll see I don't have much information added. But this is where we will add information. And as we move down, we get to a section that's going to be really helpful for you in your applications. The personal bio is not particularly important right now, although it may be if you want to make a resume, and I'll show you how to do that. But down here in this Activities and Achievements area, you're going to find as you do the Common App, the UC app, if you do that, the CSU app, or the Coalition, that you will be asked to put in your activities and things that you have done. And we are strongly suggesting that this is a great place to put it all together right here. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You can see I have already added a work experience and a community service entry, and they look really nice and formatted. I did nothing to format them. It's really easy. Let's say you want to add a sport. You would go over here to add. You would choose the category. So in that case, it'll be athletics. And let's say that you played varsity volleyball. Just add the title, in this case, the varsity volleyball. When did you do that? Well, you did it sophomore year, and you did it junior year, and let's say you intend to do it senior year. So you would click all those boxes. Hours per week. During the season, maybe it's 12 hours a week of time that you are either practicing or in games. And the season is 2 months long. So it's 2 months long, that would be 8 weeks. So 12 hours per week for 8 weeks of the year. And if you wanted to add any further description, you don't need to. This is currently just for you. But if you wanted to put co-captain senior year because you're pretty sure that's going to happen, or outside hitter, any information you wanted to add for yourself, you could put in there, and then you save it. And you see it comes up. So in the activities and achievements, now athletics is right here, all beautifully formatted. The formatting thing, I keep harping on that because you can, at the top of the page, export this resume. So if you were actually applying for a job, or if you wanted to have a paper resume to send to someone in addition to what you put on your applications, you can do that from here. in that case, that's what that personal bio is, that you would add a personal statement that would come out at the top. You probably won't need a resume, but you will be very happy that you have already put together your list of activities that you want to put into your college applications. So that is something that you could do while you're home. Add all of the things that you have done that you want to make sure that you list on your applications when we get to that point. Underneath there, we start doing the college search parts. So college preferences is a section where you can put in the things that you must have, the things that are nice to have, and then no thank you, you don't want to have. If you did the Coursava card sort thing with me, you've already done something similar to this. You can just look at that and add those things in, or you could do this all fresh. So let's say we wanted some must-haves. I pre-populated some things. We'll leave those there, but I'll show you what it looks like to add them. So you would go to the must-have list, push add, and it comes up with these different categories. So for instance, I wanted to think about size. So in number of undergraduates, I put in that I wanted to see colleges that were between 2,500 and 10,000 undergraduates. On the smaller side, smaller than universities, but not super small. For the purposes of this search, I'm going to leave that. You could put in academic focus. I was thinking there might be some of you that are interested about economics or international relations right now with all of the various things that are happening in the world that are COVID related, but that are affecting economies across the world. So I put those two in. You could put in all sorts of things. Let me show you how, how specific you can get. If you put in biology, there's regular biology, just in general, but then you could get very specific. So all of these are different choices for biology. That only got us to the C's. You could load more. All of those are different ones. So as a teacher, or biomathematics, bioinformation, and computational biology, there's all sorts of different categories. All sorts of different specifics you can get on various majors. For now, just for the purposes, again, of this, I'm going to stay with economics and international relations. So you can go through each of these and see the various categories that are available to you, and you put them either in your must-have, your nice-to-have. I just put in ultimate frisbee because that'd be nice. And then your things that are no thanks. For the purposes of this search, I decided I didn't want to see any schools that had fewer than 1,000 students. And I wasn't interested in this search in a very rural college, so one that was very far from a city. So these are the ones I've done for this search. Obviously, your search will be different, but we can see, on the acceptance rate, I've heard of a bunch of schools that are in the acceptance rate beneath, I'll put it here, the acceptance rate that's lower than 20%. We hear about those all the time. I can always add those. I was sort of interested in this search to find kind of ones more in the broad middle, ones that I might be more likely to get into for one, but ones that I want to search that might be a better fit that I haven't heard of before. So that's why I chose that section. And from there, you would simply go to Search My Preferences up here at the top. And that is going to bring up a bunch of different schools. In this case, it brought up 99 schools, which is more than I want to search through. And so you may want to add in some other preferences. You can add them on this side as well. You don't have to go back to the other page. And make your list a little bit smaller to cull through. But I'm going to cull through the list that came up here and just see. Let's see. I see, you know why? So my acceptance rate didn't stay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and look at Colgate. You click on the Colgate tab, it takes you to the Colgate page. So it's clearly a beautiful place. If I wanted to see an actual virtual tour of the school, I could click this go button right in the middle, and that would take me to a full virtual tour of the school. And if, like me, this panoramic scrolly thing makes you a little sick to your stomach, up here in the top right corner, you can pause it so it'll quit moving. So this is a page that has a lot of information about Colgate as a school. Colgate's in Hamilton, New York. It gives its acceptance rate, its stated tuition, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that really means, and its average net cost. Those are both things I'll go over a little bit below. If I want to see more details about it, it's a private, not-for-profit school. It's set in a town. It doesn't have any religious affiliation. There's a lot of information here, so I'll go fast. It has right now an SAT and an ACT score. As you guys know, and as we keep harping on, a ton of schools are going test optional for next year. SCOIR is a great platform, don't get me wrong, but it's not up to the second current. Many of the schools that are going to show SAT or ACT scores are actually going to be test optional for next year. But you can see what their sort of score average was for last year. And we will keep you up to date on which schools are actually going to be test optional. So please don't have any stress over that. It shows last year's acceptance rate of 28%. And then down here, it shows the deadlines. So this, again, it said that the tests were required. We don't think they will be, but we will let you know. In this middle section, we have the application deadlines. So Colgate has an early decision deadline of November 15th. If it was your far and away number one, you want to go there no matter what school, you could do it for early decision. We strongly suggest that you visit a school before you choose it as an early decision school. And that's a little trickier right now, as we all know. So we'll see about that. But if you really fell in love with the school, you would want to go ahead and do the November 15th deadline. Colgate also has Early Decision 2. Early Decision 2 is what numerous schools do when they know that they might not be the first choice of a student, but they might be the second choice. So if you chose somewhere else to apply early in November and you did not get in, you can apply to Early Decision 2. You get the same sort of leg up as far as having a little more, you might get in more easily than if you waited for regular decision, but you might also not be able to negotiate a financial aid contract as well. So there's pluses and minuses. When we can talk with you individually about early decision, but that's the application date for Early Decision 2. It's the same application date as the regular decision, which is just being normal in the regular decision pool. The ways that you can apply to Colgate: through the Common App, the Coalition app. Those are the two pathways. Most of your schools will likely be on the Common App, so we would suggest just doing them all through that, as many as you can. And there is a $60 application fee. As you scroll down, there's videos you can see, student-made promotional videos for the school. You can see some things like how many undergraduates there are, how many of them are in full-time. This retention number is good. Retention means who comes back. How many kids come back sophomore year after being there freshman year? 95 is a really high score. So that means people are happy. 95% of them are coming back. It shows the gender diversity, the ethnic diversity. It goes through the most popular majors of the school, and then the whole various fields of study. So if you wanted to see what the social science fields of study are, you click on the little plus sign on the side, and that's where you can see anthropology, econ, which we had put in, geography, international relations, which we had put in. This is why Colgate came up in our search. And so you can look through all of those on this page. And then we get down to the cost and financial aid. Now, this is averages. These are in general. We want to do another video that shows you how to do the net price calculator at each school. Every college has to have a net price calculator on their website that will give you much more specific information for your situation in a college. But in general, we're going to look at their tuition, $53,000, which is hugely expensive, with room and board on top of that of $13,000. So this is like $66,000, $67,000. However, the average net price, the average price paid by students is only $22,000. And if you look over here, this net price by income, you can see, but based on household income, you can click the different bars. Let's say you were even in the top category that they list, that your family has a family income of $110,000 or above a year. The average net price is $38,000, which is still a ton of money, but significantly less than the $67,000 that it shows on the sticker price. So just wanted you to know that some schools are more generous than others. Some schools put their money toward tuition assistance, and Colgate is one that seems to be pretty generous. When you look down here at this average student debt upon graduation, upon average, kids are graduating after 4 years with debt of $16,000, which is lower than average. So that's a good thing about Colgate. Looks like they're very generous. Then it also shows you a map of where they are, and it tells you the nearest airport, if there's trains, etc. So let's say, oh, and real quick, let's go to their wall. So the wall is SCOIR's sort of nod to Pinterest, and all of the different colleges can put in hashtags for things that they think you might be interested in, and with a link specifically to the college page for that. So let's see, here's Ultimate Frisbee. We said we were interested in Ultimate Frisbee. We can click on the blue link, and that will take us to their Ultimate Frisbee page on Facebook, the Colgate Ultimate Jabberwockin' Vibe. And you can read about that. Maybe you can contact various people and see, you know, what does their Ultimate Frisbee team, who do they play? How many people are on the team? Oh, wow, is it fun? On that same little tile, we went to the blue one that showed us Colgate's Ultimate Frisbee. If you just wanted to see all the schools that put in a hashtag Ultimate Frisbee because they have a team that they feel is worth putting on SCOIR, you can go, there's 219 colleges that put in Ultimate Frisbee as something that they want to share with you. So if you find something like that and you want to follow the hashtag, that's another way of looking at schools that may be a good fit. So go back. So you can look through the wall, kind of fun, you know, hey, rowing, or pictures of the campus. And once you've decided that, you know what, I might want to look at this college, let me stop the scroll. You can put it in compare. And you can compare up to 4 colleges on one page. So we're going to show you how to do that right now. So Colgate shows up there. We're going to go back to our list. We're going to find a couple more colleges to add in there. So I wanted to add, obviously there's tons. I'm just scrolling through because there's so many. I wanted to add one there. I wanted to add WPI because it is test optional already. It shows that it is. Let me stop this. It has all of the same information on the page. It has all of the admission stuff, but you can see under ACT and SAT that no score is reported. That's because WPI is and has been a test optional school for quite a few years. So you will see that information there. As I said earlier, we believe that is going to come up more often as more and more schools are test optional for the year. I'm not going to go through the other details here. I'm just going to add it to my compare. And let's go to the compare. Let's go back to, I'm going to view comparison back on Colgate. There are a couple more I was going to add, but I don't want to take so much time scrolling through it for you. So I'm going to say, I'm going to add Loyola Marymount. My grandmother went there, and she wants me to look into that school. And maybe I want to add University of Santa Cruz, of California, Santa Cruz. There we go, because I want to see our local choice. So here's our college compare list. It's the same information that you saw on the other pages, but now it's all right in front of you. So you can look at the average SAT scores that they've had in the past. Even if we're test optional this year, it's still a data point that can be interesting. These are the scores people who have gotten in the past have received. So you can still sort of get a feel for where you would be on that list. You can see the acceptance rates for the various schools. You can see the application fee for each of them. Down here, we have the number of undergrads. You can see Santa Cruz is significantly larger than the others because it's a state school. You can also see the difference between undergrads and total number. That means how many graduate students are on there. So in Loyola Marymount, there's 3,000 or so graduate students also on campus. At Colgate, it's all undergrads. There's no graduate school, no graduate students there. Down here, we talked about that retention number, that 95 was especially high. WPI is 97, extremely high. But the high 80s are good too. People leave school for various reasons. What you don't want to see is a school that's only retaining, 60% or fewer of the kids. That means people are leaving for reasons. Down here is the gender diversity, the ethnic diversity, the popular majors, and down at cost and financial aid, we can see what the tuition cost was, the room and board costs, and then the average net price. And you can see, while Colgate was the most expensive when we first looked at the sticker price, its average net price is significantly lower than either WPI or Loyola Marymount. So this is why we ask you to do some real financial research. And as I say, we're going to show you how to do a net price calculator in a different video. So enough of that. I have looked at those schools. Let's say for now, I've decided I want to put them all on my following list. I like them all. I'm not sure I'm going to apply to them all, but I want to do further research. You would just push my college. There we go. Yes, please. I want to look into you. All of those have been added to my college. And where do I find my colleges? The tab at the top that says My Colleges. So now when I click that, those 4 schools are now added to this column. You can't see on this page, I cannot suggest from my counselor account to my student account colleges because I am not official. My student account isn't an official Kirby account. But Liz and I and your parents, if you invite them, can add suggestions to your list. And you would find that way here to the left. And you may see that we've already added some schools to your suggested list. On those, you can either dump them, you can look through them and say, that's not for me, and say not interested, or you can move them to this column, which is the following. Then it's just a matter of moving the schools you like along the path. So let's say, you know what, Colgate really stuck with me. I like it. I'm going to apply to Colgate. all you need to do is pull it into the applying area. And it will ask you, are you going to apply early decision 1, early decision 2, or regular? For now, I think I'm just going to do regular. It's going to ask in what manner, what application are you planning to use? I think I'll use the Common App. You don't need to worry about the Common ID, and save it. And now Colgate is here. It has the date, so your deadline. It has how many tasks, and it keeps track of the tasks that you have done. So there's 7 tasks that have to be done. Currently, we've done none of them. Actually, let me go back there real quick. If you would like to set, we talk about reach, level, and likely schools. We'd like you to have kind of an equal number of each of those. If you decide, I love Colgate, I gotta admit, it's a reach. Those scores sound pretty high. You can go ahead and also give it the designation of reach, so you don't end up with too many reach schools on your list. So it has that little reach button. Let's say I also decided, you know what, I love WPI. I want to add that school as well. And for them, I'm going to apply early. It's the one I want. I'm going to do it through the Common App. I'm going to save that. And you'll see now WPI alphabetically should be at the bottom, but it's been moved to the top. And that's because this is sorted by deadline. And you can resort over here. You can make it alphabetical if you want. You can also do it by the acceptance likelihood. But if you do it by deadline, then you're going to see whatever's at the top of the list, that's what is coming up next. So that is another handy way for you to keep track of your deadlines and what you need to get done. Okay, so that is the comparison part. We have added that. If you were going to apply, you would continue. If you have applied, I'm sorry, you would move it over to the applied column. And that's where we'll keep track. Now, there's one thing back on my profile I want to show. Remember this page? This is where we started. If you look down below where we were at college preferences. There's one more section down here called career profile. So we've talked about UScience. Some of you have done it, some of you haven't yet. If you want to do it, you would go to this Get Started button, and it's interest inventory and ability assessment. It's a bunch of brain games that you will do that sort of show you your real strengths, the things that you're good at, and the possible careers that might interest you that utilize those strengths and your interests, and also the majors that would be good for those careers. It's a really deep assessment. And so the next video I'm going to do next week is going to be going through my UScience report, because Liz and I did it and it was super fun, and showing you how to interpret the results and how to use that for your college search. So when we talk about, have you done UScience? Here it is on the profile page, right down here. If you have questions, obviously you can talk to us anytime. You can just get a hold of us. You can also, I have to move my little picture out of the way. You can also go here and ask for support, and you can go to the support page. And if you didn't understand something to do or wanted more information, you can find it here on the support page. And that is just a quick and dirty little tutorial on how to use SCOIR. And we'd love for you guys to use it and try it and let us know how it works for you. We will be adding some schools to your list from it. And yeah, we'll just keep things going. So I hope you are well, and we miss you, and sign up for a counseling appointment anytime and we can chat. All right, bye.